Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are joined by Skara from Dignitas here. And, well, straight away, Skara, that was an incredible performance beating out CLG in such a fashion.
Yeah, we're very happy with our results today.
Very happy straight away. You immediately, we'll go straight through the bans to start with. Okay. Anything in the bans that kind of surprised you, what they targeted? You left, firstly, the main thing we noticed was that Draven was available to you guys, and instead you didn't take it.
Well, we kind of realized pretty early that Caitlyn is probably the dumbest AD to play against. She straight up is just like, she may not be the most effective, but she is by far the most annoying. And so you can easily like split push, like lane swap with her. And that's why you see her like commonly picked a lot in Asian games and in very high level European NA games. You'll see that coming up to play. And so we just realized like, wow, we have to know how to play this champion.
Cutie Pie especially likes playing annoying champions.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I saw it in this game, and I've seen it actually at Dallas too, where you don't get boots for a very long time. Is that after you are fed? You're just like, okay, I want to rush that Zhonya's Hourglass. Once I get that, it's a huge power boost, or?
It's just like, yeah, it kind of is. The boots are a lot less effective now that they increase base move speed, and boots only gives you like 25 or so. But like most of the times it's just based on gold value. Like a lot of times I go back on very specific gold values. Like I literally backed for my Zhonya's at 1658, and had I backed at 1700, I think I would have gone death cap. Just for a riskier play that would have paid off in dividends if I was able to convert it to like more kills. And so just a lot, my item ability changes a lot depending on what my gold value is when I back.
Well, moving on to the whole team format, the meta you guys used. It was normal meta. This is something we've not seen for a while. What made you guys think, you know what, we're going to straight up fight this. We're going to go 1v1s in the lanes. We're going to have the duo lanes against each other. We're not going to go for the 3-4 minute tower pushes.
Well, it was like, you just look at what they picked and where their strengths are. And so we realized that like Caitlyn can lane push really, really well. But she can also like 2v2 really well. Like you're not going to beat Caitlyn in the 2v2. Not unless you significantly outplay them. And so at that point, we were like, okay, we'll keep lane standard and try to work around just having Volibear put pressure on lanes. Because top lane against Hotshot, typically he doesn't run a kill lane, so there's no pressure there. And so we need to isolate and put pressure onto the bottom lanes into the middle lane to try to convert turns. And in that game, we just got like a really, really good play bottom lane. Got like 3 for 1. That was almost game over right there.
Yeah, and then let's talk about that bottom lane play, because talking about outplayed, it was a 3v4. It took Link out of your lane for a long time. It gave you so long to farm. I think red buff was used effectively baited by Cutie Pie. I mean, what was going on through your team's mind when that was all out happening?
Well, typically when a gank like that happens, I don't actually watch it because I know if whatever happens, I can't influence it. I immediately ask if I should collapse. They answered no, and I only caught the tail end of it. I got like 30 CS during the entire scrap, and they just outplayed them so hard. Like Volibear, Nasus ghosted over, and Volibear flung him while he was ghosted backwards. And off that one play, they just kept going forward. And you can't keep pushing into Caitlyn without being able to, like, you can't push into Caitlyn without running out and dying in the process. And so they were just dove a little bit too far and were caught in the really bad spots. And they were able to convert for like 3 kills. And it was, like, I thought that was game over at that point.
So did I. I mean, actually, up till that point, Cutie Pie was losing in CS as Caitlyn, and so I was like, oh, this might be good for CLG there. But when they turned that gank around, I want some insight on your team chat. Was Cutie Pie making any jokes? Did we have some choice comments, or do we not want to
I think he was just like, wow, that was so awful. Like, that's literally like all I heard. And I was like, I had no idea what happened. They only called the tail end. I was like, oh, okay, I guess we win this game. Like, that's literally immediately what I thought. Because CLG is a team notorious for running 2 threats, and both their threats died. And so if you set behind their only 2 damage sources, like, you're going to win the game.
And more importantly, I mean, it gave you, like you said, that 30 CS in the mid. Yeah,
I got
took the turret down to
1,500 damage on the turret as well as like 30 CS. And I was like, wow, like this is like, had they even split 1 for 1 bottom lane and that was it, we would have still come out on top because I was so ridiculously far ahead.
So obviously the snowball started from there, but we want to talk about the support, Patoy. Was this a super secret champion that Kobe's been built up to believe? Because he was not that excited when he saw it.
No, we have something.
Okay, good.
But at least it's one of the things we've been working on for a while. We haven't been able to show it because he's so dominant top lane. It's like you never really get the chance. But this time we saw a really good opportunity to pick and put it support, and it worked out really well for us.
And final question, of course, you guys are now in the house, in the gaming house. It's a really nice house. I've seen photos of it. Odie shows me so many photos of this beautiful gaming house. He's like, you need to look at this house. I'm like, I can't. I'm neutral to you guys. I can't come looking around your houses. But I know Odie wants to move his family there. Are you guys all comfortable there now?
Yeah, like it's definitely an interesting like thing to have 6 to 7 people in one place, but it's worked out very well, and everyone likes living there. Like, it's very comfortable for them, and there's no really space issues or any of that. So it's helped a lot in our general like mood. Like, we are all enjoying actually like playing in one area. So it's been very nice for us, and it's affected us outside of the game a little bit more than inside.
And when you've got this giant house, do you use it to its full potential? Do you use all the rooms? Because I remember Curse had this giant mansion, and they were kind of all in that same room.
We use every room but one, but the one we don't use is like the biggest room. Because we honestly don't have anything to put. Like, I think we need to buy more furniture before we show out like a house tour or whatever.
Buy more furniture. There you go, OD. That's what you've got to do. We need to buy more furniture. Thank you very much for joining us, Skara. Okay, so now it's time for our final match of the day. It is going to be Team Solo Mid versus MRN. MRN, of course, beat TSM in a stunning upset back in Super Wednesday. Was it a lucky win, or was it the mindset of MRN's fearless Mega Zero? Let's take a look.
It's MRN. The only thing that we can do different is win.
The last time we played them, we kind of underestimated them, and that's really bad.
MRN is alone 5 strong inside of TSM's base. This is going to be their second upset victory.
So we just want to win, and show everyone that we're improving. We never stop improving.
I guess I don't look up to them like other people do. I feel like we can be on their level.
Going into the next match, I'm confident that we'll beat them.
I don't look at them as like a goal that we can't reach. I feel like we can be that team.
And that really, for me, is how the North American LCS, as well as the European LCS, is now going. All of the teams that have come into this, we were like, oh, I hope they level up. We were so worried at the start of how they were going to work themselves out. But they are now on the same level. They don't fear TSM. They don't fear CLG. They don't fear Dignitas. They're quite happy to go into these games and challenge them.
Yeah, you got to watch out, guys. And I mean, last time, TSM surrendered to MRN last time that they met. It was like 38 minute 50 or something like that. So it was a great play by them.
Big play by them. And of course, you know, coming into this, MRN, what do we think from these guys?
Well, they have Echo playing, which is really good, because last time they played, Echo was, he had 0 deaths. He was like 3-0-11 or something like that. So they also have Niantanso, who is an all-star in the solo queue. He was at the top of the challenger circuit with over 1,000 challenger points until he just started playing whatever he wanted. He got to that point where he didn't even care anymore because he was so high. And the rest of them, it's just, they've really come together with him. And Heartbeat moving over to that support role has been a little bit iffy, but he's at home in the bottom lane at least.
Well, we saw it earlier on in the day. They put up a pretty good challenge with Dignitas compared to CLG just a moment ago. It was a lot better challenge than they certainly put up, but the crescendos weren't on point exactly. Whether that was down to the Cutie Pie's reactionary time, or whether it was a case of they weren't hitting the target. Is that a case of an AD carry moving into the support role, which we've seen from Afromu is sometimes a good move?
Yeah.
Not quite working out.
It definitely takes a while to get used to, and I have to say Crescendo is one of the moves that takes a little while because there's a cast time on it. You have to get used to it a little bit. You don't really get those amazing flash crescendos from, you know, first-time Sonas or even fifth-time Sonas, so it definitely does take a lot of work to get used to. But then, of course, on the other side, we had Wild Turtle. You interviewed him about his pentakill, and he was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty good, I guess. Yes.
Not a bad start for the LCS. I believe, actually, some factual knowledge, we think, or at least I think, that was the first pentakill of the North American LCS outside of the live qualifiers.
I'll definitely go with that, especially since Heartbeat was the one who went with a quadra kill. Could have got his penta if he would have
the jumping Tristana.
Since he's the lane partner, I'll be like, yes, that was the first one. It's all because of Heartbeat right here, not having the balls to go for it.
Well, actually, he said, you know, I was just winning the game. I was focused on that. I'm not going for the
won.
glory. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the lineups, of course. On the blue team, it is going to be Team Solo Mid. Out the top, it is going to be Dyrus, the odd one, Reginald, Wild Turtle as the AD, temporary stand-in for Chaos, and X Special on support.
And on the red side, we've got MRN, Mega Zero up top, Claky D as the jungler, Echo in the middle, Niantanso now AD, and Heartbeat supporting him.
So lots of shuffles from both teams. How is it going to affect them? Of course, Team Solomid did pick up the win. MRN odds 0-1 for today. Of course, we're going to go into Champion Select in just a few moments. What are we thinking from picks and bans here? Bearing in mind they've had a number of change arounds. What do you focus on, really?
It's interesting because we do have two sub ADs for these teams right now. And Niantanso obviously going to be full-time, but he's new to the team. So if you can target one of these people that are new, then that's usually beneficial. Last time, the last game that MRN played, we saw a Draven ban. And that's because Wild Turtle is a very aggressive AD. He's even, some people in the solo queue characterize him as reckless or just very over-aggressive. So we'll have to see if they want to play that and let him get the Draven and then try and capitalize on that aggressiveness, or they just want to ban it out because they're scared.
You know, the one thing I like to see from these players is the fact that some of them do play with a smile, because that's what you want. You know,
Yes.
These guys are basically in the dream job of anyone, probably anyone watching this stream right now.
Yes.
This is the dream position for you guys, apart from maybe our jobs as well. Maybe
Yeah.
we could talk rubbish about the game all day, but these teams, you know, they've got to play with a smile on their face, and this has actually become, you know, this is the attitude issue, I guess, they're talking about with Chaos, the fact that they don't realize the amazing situation they are in. You know, just the benefits you've got. You are a pro player. This is, you just think, you look back on your life when you hit into the 40s, the 50s, and you're going to think, wow, I had such an awesome young life.
That happened to me. I was playing and then I quit and I had an office job and I was like, what am I doing?
Why did I quit?
I went the wrong way here. We need to go back. So yeah, next when they grow up a little bit, if they do get one of those office jobs, they'll definitely look back on this as fond times. But hey, maybe we can keep it going. Roll this into, you know, a few years of...
Well, we certainly hope so. Of course, the bans are starting to come through here. Akali and Jarvan being taken out. Shen also banned out by MRN. You do see Claky D on your screen there. What will he go with? It's going to be a KO ban, of course, taking it away from TSM. Pretty much a standard ban, and we talked about it at the top of the show. Was at 40 bans, probably at 44 right now.
Jarvan, yeah, that's Claky D right there. If you see a Jarvan in game, some of us will even call him Claky D because he plays him so much. That's definitely his go-to jungler, and if you can take him out of his comfort zone, which is the same strategy as taking Renekton away from Mega Zero, definitely those two are the most common bans against MRN, so no surprise seeing those here. Kale, like you said, the champion with the ultimates, gotta get that one off the table.
The Winged Warrior. As it stands, final ban rather from MRN. What are they thinking? The targets really so far have gone towards Claky D and Mega Zero. Will they take away Twisted Fate? No, it's going to be Thresh. So Twisted Fate is available and locked in straight away.
So they're going right back to that. It was interesting. I was watching the last TSM game with a couple Dignitas people and CLG people, and they were chuckling every once in a while when we saw the Reggie ultimates. His global pressure wasn't quite on the level of Messiah, let's say, but it was
Nobody's
decent,
global
though.
pressure's on the level of Messiah.
That's fair. That's
or maybe
fair.
Westadors.
You can't get that.
Maybe. Nevertheless, it is MRN with their next two picks. What are we thinking? They're going to go for probably the jungler in the top lane.
Well, TF is actually kind of easy. If you want to go with an aggressive mid lane right there and pair it with an aggressive jungler, then you can really take away a lot of that global pressure. That's usually what I do when I'm in the jungle, like solo queue. If you see a TF or a Shen, you go gank that person so that their global presence is going to be of no use. Once he's down, then you can go to a different lane.
Yeah, speaking
Nocturne
of Shen as well, actually, that's what Dyrus took before. I was wondering whether they were going to take that. Looking like
well, he's banned out this game, so nobody's taking him. Hands off!
Damn it!
The Nocturne, though, I was going to say, that's a great counter to TF. It's sort of like the light and dark. You can eclipse his ultimate right there. Elise, also a very strong first pick. Like we said before, she can go anywhere on the entire map. She's great in all positions.
Light and dark. I like what you did there. I like what you
eclipse
did there.
thing too. With the,
You've been around Freak a little bit too long in North America
much.
Already. Maybe Lulu maybe going to get selected. Will we see Ezreal going alongside it? Will it be a Caitlyn? As Skara just mentioned, the pressure that comes out from Caitlyn is ridiculous right now. So maybe we're going to see Lulu paired with him. No, it's Wild Turtle's Draven.
Ooh, so they are going to get that Draven for him. They want to play to his strengths. That's a very good choice in my opinion. He feels really comfortable on that champion, and paired with Lulu, who's one of the most aggressive supports also. The Glitter Knight's slow. She can wave push when they need to push the lane. It's a really flexible lane right there. They can go 2 versus 1 or 2 versus 2. They'll be happy going heads up.
And there is Niantonso. He's taking Caitlyn. Focus on his face. Will Echo go with some sort of AP counter, or will we see the support coming out first and leaving that AP champion till last?
Yeah, saving the last picks for middle is pretty useful right here. I mean, they already have TF in the middle, but it just gives him more time to think about it. Echo's been very sick lately, so I know that he's back and playing. We never know if he's quite at full strength or what's going. Okay, there it is. It's going to be that extra poke lane right here. Super long range.
It could be like a normal sportsman, a footballer. I know certainly from my point of view. When I talk about football, I'm talking about soccer. But in the UK and across the world, you'll see these sports guys, despite the fact they're injured, despite the fact they're sick, they'll still say, no, I can play. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I wonder after a couple of weeks out whether Echo's doing the same thing. We will have to find out. Singed potentially could come out from Dyrus here. Dyrus did mention it in his, I think it was his vlogs or maybe in the game cribs, that he was talking about how strong he is on Singed right now, and I hope nobody bans it against him.
We had some videos from him. He said that in the past when he's had Singed in the LCS, he's like, oh, I misplayed so hard. I feel really bad. I'm making my champion look bad. I'm not giving him his dues. They actually are switching around here. If they did go with a Nautilus, I'd be fairly surprised. I haven't seen the odd one jungle Nautilus in a while, but I know that he used to do it a lot. Seen it in solo queue all the time. He does love those hooks. Not going to happen, though.
I'd love to hear him say my champion, because I'd like to challenge anyone over Shy.
Especially, I was going to say
my champion.
Dyrus, maybe because he did that pro pick and he was like, I choose Singed.
I choose Singed. Shy's probably like, damn it, that's my champion. But we do see Malphite again being picked in. We saw him in the last game, Hotshot GG running it. This time around, it will be Dyrus in that top lane, and of course, the dog is there. Nasus, it will be the odd one in the jungle. Final pick potentially could be Karthus.
You know what's really funny about this is in that video, CLG is talking about, oh, TSM just copy stuff. They all just take our strategies. They got the Malphite and the Nasus right here. That's their tank line. They just took the tank line here from CLG. Didn't work out for CLG.
Not so well.
Be careful there, TSM. I do like it in this matchup, though. Heartbeat, again, with the Karthus will be interesting because you can kill Karthus really easily and then get out of his zone. Okay. They are going to do it.
Yeah.
He's actually going to hold teleport too. Double teleport.
Double teleport if they keep hold of it, of course. We do, of course, have Dyrus with teleport as well. So technically, with Reginald's ultimate, you've got double teleport on both teams. This could be a lively occurrence. Of course, Nocturne can come from very deep as well. Yeah,
I always like using that ultimate, especially if you don't have to use it for a gap closer and you can use it just for the vision denial. Everybody forgets sometimes that he makes the whole screen dark for your opponents. That's great in a team fight. So if you're already there with the rest of your team and you leave your ultimate on just for the vision denial, I feel like that's a really good mark of knowing when there's a really good jungle Nocturne and when it's just an okay Nocturne, if you can use it in both situations.
Just leave it on there for a little while and then finally
Then use it, because you want to use it at the end for the damage. You don't want to let that damage fall off, but leaving up that darkness for a while really helps out in team fights.
Okay, so what do we see between these two team compositions, TSM versus MRN?
It's gonna have to, I think that Reggie's gonna have to make a few more plays with his TF this time, because it looks like they're gonna have to like catch people out, and Malphite is great at that. He can set up ganks really easily, just unstoppable force them. Reggie comes in with a gold card. Boom, that's an easy two-man there. And then Draven, like we said, such an aggressive duo lane here with Draven Lulu, that if Reggie shows up bottom, then that can easily be some kills for them there as well. So the counter ganks are going to be really important here from MRN.
Yeah, it'll be good to see how Draven does get played by Wild Turtle as well. Like you mentioned, the aggression, despite the fact Draven was called trash earlier on in the week by Double Lift. We'll see how that one performs. There are the two teams on your screen. The blue team, of course, is going to be Team Solo Mid. The red is Team MRN. Let's get this game underway. You see Summoner's Rift has loaded. And, well, if you have just joined us, you've missed some pretty awesome games today here in the North American LCS. TSM, of course, will be playing as the blue from bottom to top. And MRN playing as the red team from top to bottom. And Team MRN, can they pick up a win? It would be a big, important win, especially after CLG just lost that game. They could keep in check with CLG.
Yeah, that would be really big for them because they want to show that they're really one of the top 4 teams. They want to break out of that mold that everyone puts them into the bottom all this time. And they're like, oh, you just lost the mark. Oh, the ward does go down. That's actually really big for TSM. Not only do they know that ward's down, but they were able to place one of their own.
Well, this time, TSM don't catch on. Remember, there was a face check straight away there by MIA. He went and got KIA.
Oh!
As it is, MRN Echo is going to have to force to use the flash, and he does get away from it, but wow, straight away. Summoner spell used. We'll see whether we get the odd one come and visit him in a few moments.
That is a big win for TSM. Twisted Fate being in your lane means that he's going to have to play very, very defensively without that flash because Reggie can set up ganks really well as well. He's got that stun. And then the Wither, even level 1, is a great slow. Looks like they might get a cocoon on Dyrus.
They've got a cocoon on Dyrus. Are they going to follow this one up? One more ignite should be enough. When they finish it up, yes they will. Mega Zero comes in. First blood goes down, and it's MRN that pick it up.
Dyrus wanted to hold on to his flash. He was taking a lot of damage there, and he just hold on to it way too long. They actually pull up that first kill. Mega Zero not hesitating, uses both of his summoners, rewarded with that first blood, and that advantage that TSM had from the invade just goes right out the window.
Straight out the window. Yeah, like you mentioned, despite the fact Flash was burned in that mid lane, Flash burned in the top as well by Mega Zero. So the odd one actually does have a choice of where he can go ganking. He could try and level this back up. The odd one is going to go around. Going to be the blue buff that they pick up. Dyrus is going to come around and help that one out. We're going to see the Jury lane as an invade in the bottom half, actually. We can see Echo on it. He's taken very low. X Special is going to come around. Glitterlance comes out. They do manage to get on towards MRN. Echo straight away down, and the blue buff back to Wild Turtle. That's horrendous.
So they do pay for that earlier flash, plus they lose the blue buff off there. X Special almost tried to stick away that 60 gold too. Odd one does just going to take a few hits here for free. Claky wants to go in.
He realizes he's round there, gets the feelings. He is level 2. He's going to go full on aggression, but he's gone a little too close to the turrets and does back out. Heartbeat was with him, so we are seeing the AD and support in that mid lane. That's going to keep pressure, a lot of pressure, on towards Reginald in that bottom. But the problem now is Echo. He needed that blue buff. So now he's going to have to try and solo 2v1 against a team with effectively a crazy aggressive Wild Turtle with a blue buff.
Yeah, and Karthus is actually really easy to dive. Last time we saw him go in a 2 versus 1 lane, he was just picked on over and over again by that jungle. It looks like we have more invades here from Claky D. He's gone very aggressive, also taking the race here from Odd One, so Odd One going to have to actually recall fairly early.
Well, Reginald is trying to keep him at bay in that mid lane. Meanwhile, at top here, Mega Zero, of course, 1-0 up against Dyrus. Getting that first blood. Has started with an Amp Tome as well. That's a problem right now for Dyrus. He's going to really be pressured, I feel, in that top lane. He is ahead in CS. Wild Turtle back down this bottom. He's going to start grinding out that CS against Echo. Didn't go back and buy despite picking up that kill on Echo, but Echo really is going to have a hard time farming this one out. Luckily for him, the layways can be used from a long way away.
Yeah, and also Claky's coming down. I don't think he's going to want to try and gank here. Just help him out, clear the wave so they defend the turret at least. Don't get too much damage on it early because they really need that turret to stay up as long as they can. Like you said, Echo needs to farm from a distance. Last time he was Karthus, he went with the scaling build of the tier. Oh, Dyrus does get caught.
Mega Zero goes aggressive there, puts his fangs into him. It is only Rock he's biting, so he kind of blunted him off and he just walks away from that one. Heartbeat putting down the pink ward straight away the minute he comes around, puts that ward in. Heartbeat. It's like, hell no, you're not getting that down. Wither comes out from the odd one, the flash burn, and now it's Nienton, so he's going towards, but Wither's not on him. Lands a simple Q, turns it back around on towards Reginald. The Piltover's not going to be close enough to catch him though.
So Reggie trades flash with Sona right there. Not the best because he is mid lane and it is going to be fairly difficult for him since he's in the 1 versus 2 situation. Going to be a little bit hard. Claky D though, just farming up in his jungle, so he'll be looking to dive top lane. Oh, Dyrus is going back right now at this wave. Maybe he'll use his teleport very early. We'll have to see. Yep.
Yeah, he is going to use that teleport. Let's see where he goes into. He's back into top lane and just keeps Mega Zero at bay. So no aggression coming out from him. The odd one trying to cover off this mid lane, but it is a 3 members of MRN here. He needs to be very cautious that they don't turn suddenly aggressive on him. That mid turret is also taking a hell of a lot of damage from the Enton. So Reginald returns back down there. Echo also taking damage on the bottom lane. In terms of CS between the two AP carries, they're actually staying pretty even despite the fact that Echo did not get that blue buff. He's holding them off very well in this bot lane.
Yeah, and the gold is almost dead even after all of this aggression and so much happening in the early game here. They're still pretty much even right now. It's just that turret health that you're going to have to watch out for. Like you said, this middle one, once that goes down, really TSM's whole map control just collapses down on the middle.
The fact that that gold is even may be a problem because TSM, of course, with Twisted Fate will gain that advantage. TSM pushing in this bottom lane. They're going to keep on towards it. Echo needs to start being careful. He knows that the odd one is missing on the map. He's going to see him coming in towards that tri-bush. Claky D is just there. Look at that. The ward was about to wear out, but he's just stepped in that second too early. And look at Echo straight away across towards him. Tries to go aggressive, tries to force him away, tries to just basically say, look, I know you're there, despite the fact his ward has cleared out. He's placed a new one in the tri-bush.
Yeah, last few seconds of that ward really paying off here. And we still have Claky just hanging out at that turret. Both junglers spending a lot of time in the lanes trying to defend their turrets so that the first one does not go down.
First one doesn't go down. Top lane trades going back and forth. Mega Zero actually taken a little bit low and just fell behind in level, despite the fact he was the one that got the first blood over Dyrus. Now you see him hit level 6. So he is going to keep the pressure down. Reginald getting pushed by the Enton, so again in this mid lane. And the odd one really having to do a great job of covering him off. Reginald trying to pull out that card instead. He goes for the blue, simply gets some mana back, refunds it. And the Enton so keeps pressure on the turret.
And we do have to remember that Dyrus used his teleport early against Elise in that laning phase and to get that extra little advantage. He's actually lost the CS advantage that he had in that last wave there on the top lane, and Elise can pull ahead now. So pretty even, but there's no global presence here until Reggie, there we go, he hit 6. But he's not going to be able to go anywhere since this mid turret is taking so much pressure. I like what MRN are doing. They're going at the source of the global pressure so he can't leave.
Yeah, and more importantly, he's actually fell 10 CS behind now on Echo down that bottom lane. Now we're seeing a blue invade coming out. MRN, Heartbeat, Claky D, and we're going to see Mega Zero joining this one. They're going to try and get around and steal out blue. CX Special warding it out. They're not really ready for this one, and Claky D's taking that blue.
Yep, and the odd one there had vision on him. He's just been staying in the lane so much that Claky taking really advantage. Whenever you're the jungler and you have that extra free information on
they missed them.
Ooh, odd one takes a lot.
They took a lot, takes it. Also, they see the ace in the hole coming out, and they missed the siege minion as well, which means they lost a lot of gold. There's the first turret of the game going down, though. It is Team Solo mid on the bottom lane.
Yep, but looks like MRN trying to answer right now. Niantanso going to put a few more hits on here. Reggie does a good job zoning with the gold card.
Yeah, and tries to keep him away. Heartbeat also being zoned by Dyrus. Looking like TSM were thinking of potentially maneuvering for the dragon there. They have still got pressure on that bottom lane. Mega Zero, he can't be left alone at this top, though. He's just going to farm out crazy, though.
They also have a vision ward here for MRN on the dragon, so that's going to help them out a lot since their bottom turret did just go down, and TSM won't be able to sneak that one.
So, oh, here comes Reginald. He's going aggressive finally on towards Heartbeat. He does manage to land the stun card. The damage, though, is not quite enough. They're going to have to tower dive. Oh, and that's going to be Wild Turtle with the ultimate coming from the river, taken down.
I love when you see the execute from Draven's ultimate, too. Cuts him both sides, and they are going to be able to force around Dragon right now if they... Nope, because Reggie's going to recall. He's too low on mana.
He's going to go back, but Mega Zero's joined the party in this mid lane. And Team Solo mid do not invite him. They want to pressure on towards this turret. Can they go for Dragon? I don't think so. Echo will be pushing on the blue buff. This would be their own blue buff as well. They've already taken away TSM's blue buff, remember? So that will be denying everything. And the odd one was coming around. He wanted to get in there. He wanted to get the smite steal, but Claky D is not allowing it. Claky D now needs to back off here. He's going to have to use his ultimate on field to just take away any vision because the odd one's keeping the pressure on. Echo has picked up that blue buff. Claky D taken so low. Claky D actually... Oh, he still had the blue buff from the last steal. Forget what I'm talking about.
Yeah, close one right there. If Wild Turtle wanted to flash in, he could have got that kill. So much pressure put out there, and a really nice stand aside, by the way, through that wall. The very tip of it grabbed Claky and forces him back.
Forces him back. Niantonso now against Wild Turtle in this mid lane. Mega Zero, for the first time, putting pressure on towards the turret in up its top lane. Has built up a very minute CS advantage over Darius. That's purely about going back and forth, though. Who goes back to buy? Reginald now down the bottom lane. He's got up against Echo. You can see it's 88 to 81 between the two AD carries, and it is Echo with a CS advantage in this bottom lane. But I think now that Reggie is on his own, he's going to probably regain that, and it's all about this mid lane. Niantonso didn't have the pressure to take it down quick enough. The odd one really helping out with Reginald to prevent that. And now TSM, I feel, have that slight advantage.
Yeah, you've got this powerhouse duo lane that's Draven Lulu, and they're doing a good job even zoning out the Caitlyn Sona, which is notorious for being extremely poke heavy here. But you have to remember there's so much global presence on each side here. At any time, you could have Dyrus coming in, Claky D coming in with his ultimate, Echo coming in with his teleport. There it is.
And there is it, the Crescendo ultimate immediately cleansed it off, and Requiem comes out, but it doesn't matter. Everything cancelled out, and now Reginald's going to turn around and answer back on towards this one. Does going towards Niantonso, tries to keep the pressure on. Claky D also taken low. Lulu, you can see X Special putting the Glitterlance down, but Marn all back out. That was a lot of ultimates all burnt out, and TSM responded. They go for Dragon.
Yep, TSM had gotten the global advantage right there, but then Reggie teleports in. They get a little bit of zoning power, just forcing Niantonso back, and they don't even have to kill anyone to get this Dragon.
Yep, they are just going to take this one down. Pink ward was on there. Marn trying to keep some pressure on towards the mid turret, but they're not even going to get that down. They realize they got to back away from it, and TSM keep on their advantage. Gold lead starting to stack up now as well. 16.4k to 13.9, 2-1 in kills. They got that turret early on down the bottom lane, and now with the Dragon in their pocket, the experience advantage across the team will have stacked up as well.
So a nice little advantage here for TSM, but we have to remember there's a Karthus on the other team, and Echo is going with that late game build, just like he did in the previous game. He's going to stack up his tier, and then he's going to get his Rod of Ages, get that one ticking. Another 10 minutes after he builds that, it'll be at full capacity.
There was Wild Turtle's ultimate thrown out just to get a little bit more farm while he's back in base. Got himself the Berserker Greaves and the Bloodthirster as well. So he's ahead in terms of builds. He's obviously got that double kill, which is helping his gold stack up, and he has that advantage over the opposition AD carry. Reginald, as I mentioned, would try and gain some of that farm back. As it stands, Echo, though, is a little bit far ahead. 20 CS difference between those two.
Ooh, middle turret.
They're gold. Look at that. It doesn't matter because of the CS advantage. There is the first turret of the game for Marn there, keeping the pressure down. But as I was about to say, the fact that he is Twisted Fate, it gives everybody that gold advantage.
Yeah, exactly. He gets that extra little bit every time you land a kill, and a nice blue steal away there. Claky D doing his counter jungling. And the odd one, everybody wants to know how much extra damage we're getting with that siphoning strike. Right now it's only at 78.
Oh, Echo caught out down the bottom lane. There's the stun card. I think he realizes he's already dead. There's nothing he's going to do about this one. Darius will finish him off, goes back in towards it. But while this is happening, they're pressuring on the mid lane. They're going to go towards it. There's going to be the crescendo one towards Wild Turtle. Doesn't have cleanse this time around. And Mega Zero goes in, sinks the fangs down. Niantonso gets the kill.
So that's a pretty good trade, actually, for Marn. They'll take that. Wild Turtle is really the crux of TSM's power right now. He had that Bloodthirster. Now it's only down to +4 damage, so he's going to have to almost fully stack that back up.
So Mega Zero returning back to that top lane, and the assists gold was definitely an advantage swing for Marn there because everybody got in on that kill. 3-2 in kills now, and it's just a 1.5k gold difference between them. Only coming up to the 14-minute mark. Claky D taking another buff for himself. Has been controlled in the jungle, honestly. The pressure that's been on that mid lane has kind of kept the odd one out of it. He's not had a saying in the jungle warfare.
Yeah, usually junglers are not upgrading to that Wriggles Lantern unless they get the early kill and they're ahead. But Claky upgraded anyway because he got some assists, and he's been doing a really good job using that to counter jungle with, staying in the odd one jungle, grabbing his buffs, and really making use of all the spread out nature of this game where there's so many globals on each side. Ganking is actually very, very dangerous.
20 CS advantage almost building up by Niantonso. That will regained as Wild Turtle comes back in towards that middle lane. Claky D keeping them off this turret. The turret barely untouched so far, but there is a 4-man TSM team all here waiting to go for it. Heartbeat, of course, coming down. And TSM may get this one for free because, simply put, Marn have backed off and just left it wide open.
Yeah, and that's very, very good answer for them right there. Cleaning up that middle turret advantage. Now the ultimate from Reggie comes out. Is he going to catch? He is not going to catch him.
He's not. He's just going to use it, go down the bottom, and farm.
Yeah, he's no messiah. He's going for the hot shot strategy.
Hard shot strategy, but it is going to be Wild Turtle getting caught out. The paranoia is going to come down and just cleanse it off. Will it be enough? The flash comes out from Wild Turtle. Wild Growth pot by X Special. They turn this one back around, and now Nyentonso's in trouble. They're going to get on towards him. One more Q shot will come through, but Mega Zero joins the party. Requiem came out. There's going to be the ultimate coming out, and they're going to force him away, and it's going to be Dyrus with the unstoppable force coming in. Nyentonso goes down. The repel comes out from Mega Zero. He's going to get dropped as well. Backfired desperately there. Marn absolutely ripped apart by Team Solo Mid.
Great job by Wild Turtle, kiting until Nasus and Lulu could come save the day for him. Odd One throwing down that Wither, just completely stopping Clake's damage, and X Special with the ultimate saving him enables Wild Turtle to go a little bit aggressive, stealing some life off the Sona, and he lives through the Requiem.
Very well played. TSM responding to that one perfectly. Was simply ClakeD trying to take advantage of a situation that just was not there.
They really, really want to take out that Wild Turtle because, like I said, he is the main source of TSM's damage. If they get him out of the way, then the powerful initiate that is that unstoppable force from Dyrus doesn't mean quite as much. We just saw him there coming in from the back, though. Even if he's a little bit later to the party, doesn't matter. Rewarded with some 3 kills right there.
More importantly, the unstoppable force caught 3 of them, just stood still, absolutely planted them up into the air. I think the repel came out from Mega Zero, but I'm pretty sure he'd already been hit by the unstoppable force. Yeah, so it was simply, the only way he was going to repel was in the direction of the rest of TSM, and that meant he got taken down. The Odd One, of course, despite the fact he's been effectively a mid laner, I think it's safe to say, has still kept up very well with ClakeD.
Yeah, he's actually made a lot of nice sort of support plays as that jungle bin where he needed to, laying down that Wither to stall off the ganks, and he's got that Aegis of Legion very early, so he's helping out the entire team. He can turn himself into an instant tank with that ultimate, getting those free HP stacks. And here we go, we see the it was about 16 minutes, 30 seconds or so that the Rod of Ages was completed on Echo. So he's stacking up both of his items right now, and we'll see at about the 26-minute mark or so, he'll be fully stacked. So really, he's a ticking time bomb right now for Team Marn. Even though they're behind in gold, he's still going to be increasing quite substantially in power.
Well, this is what they had before, and they had the Vayne on the team as well. They did manage to pick up Caitlyn this time around, but that ticking time bomb, the question is, can they make it? Can they get that distance? Because Dignitas didn't allow them to do it, and honestly, I don't see TSM allowing them to do it because they're starting to slowly but surely claw the advantages out. Dragon fight about to kick off. Who wants this?
Here, left on Dyrus's teleport, so TSM really wants to stall for that to come up because then they can turn it right into a 5-on-5. It looks like they've done that good job. Dyrus won 2 seconds. His teleport is up.
Teleport available. Is he going to come in for this one? Unstoppable force also available. Dragon down to about half health. Let's see if it comes out. Crescendo goes on towards the Odd One. Heartbeat's going to get taken very low there. It's Wild Turtle that comes in, and there's the unstoppable force from Dyrus, launching them in the air. The Nyentonso off the side though. He's doing a lot of damage, and nobody's going towards him. It's Mega Zero they're focusing on. The Nyentonso gets a double kill. Sorry, it's going to be the one other that picks up the double kill. Ace in the hole. And where are you going, Nyentonso? You've got no mana. He's going to flash through, and he's forced back into his own base. Reginald actually launching on towards the Dragon. Why did they just leash that out? I don't know. Just threw the card out for no reason. But it's a 4 for 3, and it's a close fight. But nevertheless, TSM come out on top.
Very close fight. They're not quite able to take that Dragon because Nyentonso could fire shots at them from over the wall if they were trying to do it, and they were so low that even Dyrus tanking that would be very, very, very dangerous.
So, Marn almost turned out on top of that one, but again, Dyrus is, like you mentioned, that teleport, the unstoppable force,
came up.
Again, caught another 2 people, bam, turned the fight around so quickly, and it didn't quite catch whether the repel came out in time for Mega Zero. I don't think he did again. I think he called him again there, just trying to repel through that one. Mega Hero, I think he was in the last game, and look at this, they're all returning. X Special's been caught here. He does get the Wall of Pain down, but straight away Reginald goes aggressive, goes deep in there, and ClakeD has to try and back out of that one. The damage on towards Echo from Wild Turtle. He's going one more hit. Will it be enough? Tries to get on towards him. They're trying to catch on. The repel comes out. He launches towards the wolves. They don't catch him, but TSM have done enough. They've put them away from Dragon.
This is the second time Reggie's ulted. Got a lot of damage on someone from Marn. Not able to kill them, but they still get the Dragon right now.
It's an advantage gained, and that's all that matters. So TSM stretch that gold lead. 5,000 gold between the two teams now. Obviously, the advantage of having Twisted Fate on the team is just duplicated by the fact that they've picked up 2 dragons. They're 2-1 in turrets, and they are just going to stretch up towards that top lane. Dyrus has been immeasurable. Every time the fight comes around, teleport comes in, unstoppable force turns the tide of battle.
And we can see how much damage Wild Turtle was putting out in that chase right now in the jungle. Anytime TSM are able to keep MRN on the run and just let Wild Turtle get auto attacks off, that means that the fight is going to go in their direction. They really need to protect him, and they've got a great team for doing it. Dyrus and Oddone are both great at peeling. Then the wild growth from Lulu, if anyone actually does get over to Wild Turtle, they can knock him up in the air as well.
I believe there's a song about that as well. Man on the run. No? Okay. Maybe not.
I'll give it a little chance.
Oh, Mega Zero does return to the top lane, but he is already falling quite far behind Dyrus. Despite the early advantages he may have had, you can see in terms of gold, he's just 1,200 gold now behind Dyrus in the mid lane between the two. Actually, even between them. So Echo's managed to keep up, but it's the AD carries that's the difference. It's 1,000 gold to Wild Turtle advantage over Nintonso. And really, that's the one that counts, because the items between AD carries are always so important. Bloodthirster, Zeal, he's got the pickaxe on there. Could go for probably Last Whisper, I guess. He's going to close it out. Or Phantom Dancer, in fact, probably first item out. Nintonso, meanwhile, got that Bloodthirster. There's the double daggers, trying to get the Zeal in there, maybe. What's he going to switch towards? Actually, could go Static Shift, maybe.
Yeah, and we also have to remember in that last Dragon fight, it was so close. They ended up just 2-1, but you could see how much damage Echo was already doing with his ultimate.
Is he going Blade of the Rune King? He is, isn't he?
Yep, that's a good, it could be a good follow-up item.
Oh, got Zeal now. Yeah, nevertheless.
You never know. He's already got a Bloodthirster right there, so a lot of extra lifesteal if he did go with that. This top turret, though, both of them actually really low. So the next one of those to go down would actually help them out a lot, because Baron, oh, here we go, the ultimate from Reggie. Is it going to actually go for someone this time?
He is. He's going in towards Claky D. He manages to pop it and just straight away flashes away, but it's a flash burn. Nevertheless, Reginald tried to catch him out there. Good reactions from Claky D to get out of that.
And that's actually pretty good. Reggie's got a blue buff on him, so his cooldown's even less than it usually is, already substantially less than Flash. So pretty good win from there. Plus, it pulled Elise down from the top lane, so Dyrus was able to grab that top turret, and he's just waiting on his teleport once again. He's split pushing right now like he has it up, but there's still another 25 seconds on it. TSM really in a powerful position right now, even picking up that Oracle so they can continue to clear out all these wards.
And there's a lot of wards to clear out. He's going to get one, he's going to get two as soon as he passes through that bush. And it's taken the vision away from the Baron, which they are actually moving him towards.
That would actually be a pretty quick Baron. Draven does a whole bunch of damage to it. They don't have a lot of... oh, okay, here we go. They're just trying to bait. Reggie actually showing he can get a stun onto Heartbeat.
He does manage to flash, goes in towards Heartbeat. The ultimate comes out as well from Wild Turtle, catches on towards him. One more hit, the wild card comes through. He does catch him down. Reginald picking up that kill. Nicely done. And now they are turning back towards the Baron.
So this time they actually have Karthus split pushing bottom because his teleport is up as well. He's got a blue buff, and now Elise is recalling full life. Mega Zero's leaving while they're on Baron.
Oh, and that surely gifted them the Baron. There's nothing they can do about this one. Claky D is hanging around. He might try and do a hero steal, but I'm not sure he's going to have anything to do about this. He's not going to have the vision. He tries to put the ward in the bush. The stun card straight away comes out. Reginald going aggressive on Claky D here. It's going to force him away from the fight. Claky D's trying to get caught out. There's going to be the Baron going down any second now. There's the Baron dropped. Claky D is taken low, but Reginald's now the focus of target. Zonya's Hourglass comes in, but there it goes. Mega Zero flashes out and the unstoppable force, but that is going to be Claky D going down. Reginald still survives. Echo continues to pressure bottom lane though. The Nintonso is with him. I don't think they're going to have enough though. They're going to have a creep wave coming in. Can they get this turret down? But really, no, because here's the teleport coming out from Dyrus.
Yep, and he still has plenty of health to scare them off right now. MRN really didn't get anything out of that. The vision denial bit them in the butt so hard right there. They lost the Baron. Now the game is firmly in TSM's hand. The odd one didn't even have to use his ultimate. A lot of times when you see a team with Nasus going on Baron, he'll just pop that for the extra damage so they can burn it down, but he didn't even have to.
So all about, like you mentioned, the vision denial they had. And they were clearing the wards around that Baron, so they knew something was up. And when Heartbeat got caught out, so maybe they just simply thought, well, we can't fight for this now. We're going to see if we can simply get a steal.
It's just Sona, though. I mean, you can still sort of poke around that Baron pit. You have Karthus, pretty long range there. And then Claky D also had his ultimate. That's just going to give people nightmares. You know, you turn off the lights, you're going to scare everyone. Maybe TSM will freak out.
Well, I mean, you turn off the lights and there's a spider in there as well. That's a pretty scary thing. You're going to feel that crawl up your leg, but I don't think Mega Zero fancied going up anyone's leg on TSM, so it was Dyrus that simply cleaned him out. He did flash out of that ultimate, though. That was nice. It was good to see.
It's always good to see the reaction time plays, but then he was still full life and recalled anyway. It's not like he was forced to back right there. He had full life, just went back to base to buy, and they paid for it pretty heavily right now. We're going to see TSM going for it.
Yenton So's been caught out. Reginald ultimate coming in. Mega Zero far too quick with the cocoon there. But Dyrus comes in, catches him. Full stretch there. An unstoppable force just rips Yenton So away. He's going to repel on the turret. He's going to get caught back down there. The glitter dance from Special perfectly timed. That's going to be the inner turret in the mid lane going down. TSM are going to push through. The inhibitor turret will go down here.
Yeah, I was going to say Dyrus almost let him get away, but he just did not want to get juked one more time. Ends up getting the kill with that, and that's huge because without Caitlyn, there's no way Marn can contest that inhibitor. TSM push it right in.
Pushing it straight down, and Marn, well, now they're up against it. They started off pretty close, but now it's looking dangerous for them. Team Solo Mid have just clawed out the advantage. As Crepo talked about Gambit, you give them a finger, they will take your whole arm when he was talking about Gambit. And TSM, honestly, are doing just that here against Marn. They're ripping apart the advantages. And it's been Wild Turtle. The aggression that he had early on has just repelled the whole team. Everybody has suddenly taken that on upon themselves. Reginald doesn't need an invitation to be aggressive. Echo going to try and take the dragon away, but TSM continuing on this top lane.
Yeah, I really like that TSM has spread out their defensive items too. We have the Frozen Heart on Malphite, then we got the Bulwark upgraded already here on Nasus, and then the Locket on the support. So everybody chipping in with those aura items. Like you said, Reggie not afraid to initiate anymore. He's got the Zanyas. He can turn into a golden statue at any moment. He's used it pretty well so far. They aren't going to be able to catch out Wild Turtle here. TSM just going to recall.
Echo trying his best to keep the pressure on this bottom lane, but the split push is not working for Marn. They realize they can't win the straight up fight. They can't win the straight up split push either, it seems. Despite all those great advantages Claky D seemed to make in the jungle, getting away them blue buffs, taking everything away from Reginald, keeping him bullied in that mid lane, keeping him focused in the mid lane. It was simply a case of they had to take that middle turret down quicker. And honestly, I feel the odd one's part in that he played, simply defending, holding it out with Reginald in that mid lane, has done such a big deal. The fact that Wild Turtle X Special, given the freedom in the bottom lane to switch it around, the rest of the team couldn't respond to that.
Yeah, they're so strong right now. I don't even know if they can count on Echo. Here we go, Nian Tonsil again gets stunned.
Yeah, wild card, unstoppable force, and he doesn't even hit the ground before the ground slam comes in from Dyrus. How does that kill him when he doesn't hit the ground?
He's not on the ground. How can you ground slam him? Good point right there. We'll have to take that up with QA. But like I was gonna say, Echo, he was their sort of late game ace in the hole, but he's not gonna provide that much damage. His Seraph Embrace was a good upgrade because he had 3% of your max mana as AP. That's actually only giving him 85 right now because he's got around, what is that, 2,800 extra mana. It's not too powerful. Just 316 AP, not scary enough to scare off TSM. Like I said, already have that Bulwark, gonna give everybody on their team extra magic resistance, and they can shrug it off.
Well, there's no one really that can get touched by it. CX Special's got the shield he can put on towards Wild Turtle. He's got the Iron Locket that's slow. Just shield everything up. Nobody's going to be worried about Dyrus. Here goes Claky D. The repel comes out, but they're already taking a lot of damage there. The Wild Growth bounces Claky D away from them. Mega Zero's taking low. X Special's the only one that's low, but it's the support plays that you're going for. Requiem comes out. He does manage to get one down, but it's actually, tell a lie, it's Nianton So that picked up the kill. They're going to continue pushing this one, but they can't pick up much from it. It's a 3-for-1 exchange, and TSM, well, they had Baron, so, you know, they were going to win the fight, but still continue their advantage.
They're all huddling around Xpecial right there, but nobody able to take the final step. And Xpecial gets trolled a little bit, taking that one to the dome. Going to be the only one end up dying in that push. This bottom turret took about half its life in damage there. So once that middle inhibitor respawns, then that'll probably be the target for TSM.
So Heartbeat covering off, trying to keep them at bay. No support's being given any CS in this game, that's for sure. Heartbeat actually missing out on that one, sorry. Tried to go for the power core, tried to get it, and then this is my moment. This is the chance I get for an extra CS. Oh, bugger, I missed it.
You can see also TSM, they're just counting on catching out Nyantanso. Both of the tanks are building straight magic resist, and they're grabbing some more Negatron cloaks because they're like, oh, the AD threat is not really there. We caught out Nyantanso twice, just take him out of the team fight early, and we don't have to build any excessive amounts of armor. Malphite, of course, always getting some very early armor, so he's not going to worry about that, Caitlyn.
Speaking of excessive, a lot of damage now from Wild Turtle. And he's played a good support role. For the fact that he's come in, he stepped into this team as a total sub with playing, what, 2 games, I think they said? The two practices they managed to get in. He did arrive last night. He certainly played exceptional for just stepping into the LCS, the highest competition in North America right now, and he's had 2 very good scores.
Yeah, and they gave him his comfort pick. That's what I was saying in the picks and bans. Usually when there's a new player, you want to put them on edge because you may be able to take advantage of the land jitters, as we see TSM just grabbing a free Baron right here.
They have no idea. Look, they're actually chasing out Dyrus and Reginald. They're trying to keep the pressure on. There's going to be the paranoia, trying to catch on towards him, and Baron has been picked up. Now they see it. Claky D's like, whoa, I'm backing away from this big rock.
Yeah, they don't even want to chase him down. It would take forever to finish off Dyrus. Reggie getting the hell out of there with his ultimate, though.
And they're all backing off. Suddenly they realize, and it's actually TSM pushing the top lane. Echo does manage to get the blue buff, but it is TSM on that top lane coming in. They're going to take down the inhibitor turret. It's going to be the second inhibitor turret, not the first one. The inhibitor is now wildly exposed, and the rest of TSM starting to move around. Echo does get back in there. He's picked up his blue buff. He's going to be happy with that, but it doesn't matter. TSM take the third inhibitor turret, and now everything is exposed. The middle one did respawn, but it's only a matter of time. TSM all regroup, pushing towards that mid lane, and they're just going to keep driving forward. Not a great deal Lamar can do about this.
Yeah, TSM could just go to town right now. Looks like they're going to initiate anyway.
Oh, and you can see Dyrus, he's just waiting, biding his time to see if he can land anything. The rappel comes out, Crescendo goes down, Dyrus is just waiting his time. It's going to be Reginald that picks up, Echo's going to be going down as well. That is a double kill as well. There goes the Requiem, but it does absolutely nothing. And there's going to be the final inhibitor going down. Team Solo Mid will be taking this one against MRN, and they are simply viewers. There's the ultimate coming out from Dyrus. You can't smell what the rock is cooking. It is Dyrus picking up yet more kills. 6-1-8 for Dyrus in that top lane, showing Hotshot GG how to play Malphite in the top against the Spider. And well, would you believe it, TSM go 2-0 today. With a substitute, it's 22-6 in kills.
Congratulations to TSM, finishing that one off with no casualties. Great showing by their sub, by the way, Wild Turtle. Impressive performance on his go-to champion.
Absolutely fantastic performance. So, TSM, despite the drama, despite the problems, they adapt and overcome. They pull in a substitute. Some thought maybe there would be issues, but I guess Wild Turtle and TSM certainly knew better from this one. KX, of course, will be rejoining them next week, but as it stands, the substitute Wild Turtle coming in has played so well this weekend. Fantastic performance by him. And definitely giving them a bit of a conundrum, I think, to think about this change of play. I mean, nobody wants to see KX going out of the LCS, me, myself, because he's been around for so long, been a fantastic player, but Wild Turtle has come in and played brilliantly.
Yeah, man, it must be just really stressful, both for the players on TSM, also the managers, because they've become friends. They've been together for so long. Like Freak was saying, their team has had the same lineup for over a year by a few days.
Well, and that only change was obviously the Rainman going out and Dyrus coming in. KX himself, along with Xpecial, along with Reginald, along with the Odd One, have all been together for 2+ years.
Yeah, it's just it's really hard anytime you make some kind of change like that. So I don't know if this will be enough to shift it up. But I also have to bring up Nintanso.
Yeah.
He's so highly talked about. In that last game, the end game, he just got caught out a couple times. And it's those small mistakes that you see these top AD carries like Wei Zhao. I don't know about Double if he gets caught a lot, but Wei Zhao wouldn't in the end game. Just kidding. I love you, Double Lift.
To be a little bit harsh, I wouldn't put him in the same bracket.
Ooh.
I know. It's a little harsh, but Wei Zhao's on a different level from anyone else in the world right now. He's a phenomenal player. But after the break, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be able to talk to both the Odd One and Reginald from Team Solo Mid, and then we'll take a look at the standings. We'll be right back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are joined back on towards the interview couch. And joining me is Reginald and the Odd One from Team Solo Mid. Starting off, great victory for you guys again, going 2-0 today. Let's talk about the picks and bans to start with. You mentioned earlier on in the day, if they let you have Twisted Fate, you're going to take it straight away. And again, you locked it in first.
Yeah, so I locked in TF. Like, I've been playing TF a lot lately, and he's really strong, and he's usually banned like throughout all the scenes. And I didn't expect them to give me TF the first day, or the first game of the day. So I didn't really warm up with TF, and I was practicing all my other champions instead. And when I played TF the first game, right, when I wanted a blue card, I would lock a gold card, so I would never have enough mana because I kept gold carding creeps all the time, and I was like at 0 mana, and I was waiting for that 40 mana to do another card. And when I wanted to lock a gold card, I would lock a red card, and I was so frustrated. But after we won, I went in the normal games, and I played for like 40 minutes just locking cards, and I did so much better.
It did so much better. It
Yeah.
gave you a little bit of practice. I want to talk about the style of the game as well, because they kind of focused you. Obviously, they had the double lane in the mid lane, and effectively, the odd one, you were pulled out of the jungle, and you had to give up a lot of your jungle to Claky D, basically to cover off, to protect that mid turret.
Yeah, Nas is really, really good at wave clear. So as soon as we saw how fast we were killing mid turret, which was really, really fast, I felt that I just needed to stay mid with Twisted Fate until we had enough AP or enough levels to wave clear properly. Because if we held that mid turret, they wouldn't be able to collapse and do objectives like Dragon or switch to bottom or top turret. So like, even though I'm giving up a little bit of my jungle, I'm still like stopping like their main objective, which is mid tower. Because also they put Nocturne mid a few times and they couldn't get it, so really stalled whatever plans they had.
Yeah, that's what it seemed to me, the fact that Wild Turtle and X Special did get that bottom turret quicker down the bottom. Suddenly they switched it around and their whole plan had kind of fell apart, it felt like to me. Despite the fact they'd taken the blue buff away from you a few times, did that really affect you much?
Oh, not really. If you play TF well and you just do manage your mana, right, and you do a lot of blue cards, you should be fine.
Blue cards, yeah.
I finally managed to actually lock blue cards this game, so I was fine. The first game, I didn't really get blues, and I couldn't lock blue cards, so I was stuck at like 0 mana the whole game.
Okay, now moving on, obviously, in towards the dragon fight. It seemed, obviously, you were stalling for time. You needed to get Dyrus's teleport back up. I think you had about 10 seconds left. You stalled it out nicely, and the engagement just seemed to work perfectly for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. One of the biggest things were as Nocturne ulted, right, and everything turned dark. I was really lucky to lock a gold card on Karthus and hit him as it went dark, so I wouldn't have been able to do that. And what happened was the Nocturne was all the way in, and Karthus couldn't do the follow-up damage, so we were able to go up that fight 2 to 1 left. So 3 died and 2 survived. So I was really happy. And we just snowballed the game from getting the first getting towers and dragons, and we managed our globals really well, so we won.
Yeah, and then leading on from that, obviously we saw, I think it was Claky D got a little bit aggressive, went diving into Wild Turtle, who by this time had already become a bit of a monster. Dived in, and you guys just collapsed on the map so quickly on the mid lane. I think they were trying to take the advantage, but you guys reacted so quickly to it.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing to us because they were playing a global comp. They played Karthus with Teleport and Nocturne, and it's really scary when they use their globals, so we're always really cautious about it. We had a TF global and a Malphite global to counter that, and it worked really well because we were able to just pressure the map and react in time, and it was a lot of good coordination that wasn't shown through the first game.
Yeah, so, I mean, looking in towards the game, is there anything else that really stood out for you, obviously, today, in today's matches, bearing in mind, obviously, Chaos is not here. You've had Wild Turtle subbing for you guys. He seems to have played really well today.
Yeah, he's playing excellent right now. Besides, like, the first game where all of us kind of, like, messed up a little bit, he's gotten really good, and he's doing really well right now. I'm actually really surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I think X Special mentioned he'd only had about 2 games practice with you guys?
Yeah, so we only had, like, 3 hours of practice together. We played, like, 3-4 games, and he flew in, and his flight, he was the east side, right, in Canada, and the flight is like, I think 8 hours or something, so it's a really long flight, and he just flew down yesterday, and he's like performing in top shape.
Yeah, what made Wild Turtle stand out to you guys, you know, as coming in as an AD carry? Because obviously last time we saw him was obviously when he played for Legion. That's really the last major time.
So one of the biggest things why we picked up Wild Turtle was that as TSM, we had a really strong and stable roster, so we never make any roster changes much. And the only thing that we'd ever expect is for one of us to get sick, and we need a player to sub in. And Wild Turtle, he's a very talented player. He just literally learned AP in 1 week before he subbed for Legion, and he took second. Isn't that amazing? Like, you bring in a player that has never played mid, he plays mid for 1 week, and goes to a tournament and takes second, like, internationally. So we thought he was really good. We decided to pick him up, and unfortunately, really bad things happened, so we had to pull Wild Turtle in. Yeah,
so moving on to a jungle question about really the junglers that have been happening. Obviously, we've just seen MLG Dallas coming in. We've had Insec in there. We've had Diamond Prox, considered some of the top junglers of the world, like yourself. What are you seeing really developing in the jungle lately? Obviously, Volibear's definitely come into it. NASA's come into it. We've seen Insect unstoppable on Zed as well. Is there anything that you maybe saw last week that you're thinking, I'm going to give that a go?
It's mostly been the trend for most of the season. Ever since they put Machete in and nerfed the Philosopher's Stone rush from Season 2, jungles have been sort of starting going for more carry or like more bruiser engagers and stuff, like Nasus, Volibear, Xin, Jarvan, Vi even, and Zed. They're just all really good now. So ever since they like removed Heart of Gold, which was like a staple of, say, Skarner, you see less Skarner, you see less Maokais, you don't see as many Cho'Gaths. It's really more focused on the jungler, I say, this season than having a second support, because also ADs sort of are weaker this season, so they don't. So the junglers can actually like survive in fights with less items and less gold. So junglers have, I personally think junglers have way more impact in the game Season 3. I'm sure you notice like a lot of teams, junglers doing a lot of work and really helping the team go far, and not just has to buy support items all game.
And speaking of that, in Season 3, we've seen a number of junglers, Snoopy comes to mind straight away, actually unable to kind of find their position in Season 3. Have you felt you've had issues with Season 3 as well, you know, as a jungler to adapt to effectively the different style of play that Season 3 has developed?
It takes like maybe a few games, but it's more. I think it's a lot of the champion picks right now. Like I've been playing Xin Jarvan almost the entire LCS because, unfortunately, what I used to play like Skarner isn't as good. Like he's like okay right now, but Xin Jarvan, like you just have to really adapt to the picks, and like you just have to take a more of an engager role. Like you're more important. So you really have to make plays more often because you're strong right now. Like you're actually stronger than the enemy early game. Like one problem with Maokai early game is he loses to like Xin Jarvan early game, so it's it's harder to make plays with him, harder to make safer plays unless you see the enemy on the map. But now with like Xin Jarvan, you notice they always run across river. They don't really care because they could 1v1 someone or get away. So it's just you just have to just get in the mindset of you have to carry harder than you did before. You can't just sit back and just support the team. You're more of a carry role now.
It's become more aggressive. And
yeah.
And finally, a bit of a stinger question, really a business question, I think, to you, Reginald. Obviously, I did ask at Specialist earlier. You probably saw it earlier on, but Game Cribs. You guys have come into North American LCS, a high-pressure situation, a high-pressure league, which really we've never seen in esports before. You guys have also added that pressure with the Game Cribs to have you guys followed around by camera. Do you feel it was potentially a mistake taking that deal coming into this? Do you feel it's added more pressure than you guys probably needed?
I definitely do not. I think that it's really good long-term, and it brings a lot more exposure to esports in general. We're reaching a much wider audience than usual. Like usually we'd only reach just League of Legends fans, and working with GameSpot has really helped us. They're showing League of Legends on the front page of GameSpot, which has a huge amount of uniques, and it's just giving League of Legends more and more light, and more than it already has. And League of Legends is huge, so I'm really happy that it actually went through. Maybe the first couple weeks it wasn't so good because everything's about adapting, and when you're new to an environment, it's new, and you just have to cope with it. So I really feel like it's good for us and good for us long term as well.
Well, both the best in the rest of the North American LCS. I hope to see you again. Obviously, before things go, I will be around for another 2 weeks, so we won't be becoming completely alien. Of course, to take us through the rest of the plays, it is going to be Freak over at the analysis desk to take us through really how Dignitas and TSM took their 2 victories.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back here. I do want to break down those last 2 games. So the first one is the First Blood Tower dive from CLG, and I want to point out really the mechanical choices made here. So Chowster's coming in with Ghost, and let's actually roll the beginning of the clip. So he actually gets spotted by Volibear, by Crumbs, who flips him back and buys time. That doesn't matter. Let's pause right now. So what Link has done is actually, he knows he needs Dissonance to kill Patoy. Who's running away in Elise, might get away. Link could have distanced Chowster to haste him up, but he knew that Nasus was already ghosted. He was already going to make his way through the clip, so instead he's just going for the crowd control. And so Patoy's going to get locked up by Dissonance. Watch what Cutie Pie does when we resume. Let's play the clip out. They're going to kill Patoy, but watch Cutie Pie. He's going to dance and land attack after attack on Patoy and Link. And right here we pause again, and you notice that the turret picked Chowster. QtPie was making sure to hit Chowster because he was in the lead, took turret aggro. He's been ignited as well. Right before Elise died, he ignited Chowster. So they all chose the same target to focus, which allows them this kill. So let's run it through. And you see they easily are able to pick up Chowster. Now they find another kill on Link, the easy flip from Crumbs. Now watch their focus. They go for double lift. He's obviously the most weak. He's already burned Arcane Shift, forced to flash. Easy transition over to Aphromoo. Now he's just able to be shot, and you see QtPie walk, attack, walk, attack, walk, attack. Easy kill picked up from him. Great play. Now, the other clip is this Dragon team fight between MRN and Team Solo Mid. And what MRN does is they actually look a little bit frazzled. They engage at weird times. So they're going for Dragon. They put the Wall of Pain down. TSM is all grouped together, and they're going to engage. Let's run the start of the clip here and watch. Heartbeat will flash initiate, but the team is not ready. Pause right here. Look, Echo hasn't even gotten into range yet. Mega Zero's way back here. Dyrus comes in. You've actually got Nian Tanso way in the back corner. There is no one in range to actually follow up on the crescendo. TSM's actually about to get unstunned, and no one's even fought yet. Let's resume the clip. Heartbeat's actually caught up in the front, and he gets killed right away. Now, the rest of the team fight power is actually pretty good for MRN. They have good damage output. You've got Elise putting on a lot of damage. We can pause right here one last time, and you can see that their team fight, the actual champions, are very, very strong. All of TSM have incredibly low health bars. You can see Wild Turtle about to get dropped down. Mega Zero switches focus as Elise. And there's a lot of pressure here on TSM. The problem was they weren't actually coordinated. We can play the clip out. You'll watch a couple of kills come through. Of course, Nian Tanso was incredibly well positioned to never get taken out this fight either. But because MRN didn't come together as one group of people, they lose 4 for 3 kills, and TSM outfights them with a really, really well-positioned team fight. So when you get into battles like that, you really want to make sure you're all on the same page, that when you engage, everyone's there to follow up. That's so important when you're fighting a 5-on-5. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Freak. And who knew, really, that there was going to be a whale on the screen?
I like that one.
I quite like that. I'm not sure if it was quite meant to happen. Of course, let's take a look at the standings. At the top of the table, of course, it will be Curse Gaming. They're not playing this week, but they remain top. So that's a nice position for them to be in, I think, 12-2. Dignitas, of course, they've gone 2-0 today. They're at 13-4. Team Solo Mid, they're also 2-0 today, 11-5. And a loss for Counter Logic Gaming. And a win means they are 8-7.
Meanwhile, on the bottom, we have Vulcan at 6-10. Still, MRN now 4-10. Complexity all the way down there, 3-10. And GGU pulling up from behind, 3-12.
And of course, I did mention a win for CLG. They've only played once today and lost, unfortunately, to Dignitas. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, there is plenty more North American LCS action tomorrow. Starting off, as I mentioned, it is going to be a different time. It is going to be a rematch. It is the very first game of the season. Counter Logic Gaming versus Team Solo Mid. Everybody wants to watch that game. After that, it's going to be the Battle of the Brothers. Claykey versus Nick Wu. It's going to be facing off MRN versus Complexity. So amazing games tomorrow.
Yeah, and then we have Vulcan with their first game this week versus CLG. And finally, we finish off with a very scary-looking Dignitas taking on the boys of Complexity.
Of course, it is all going to be starting tomorrow at a new time of 3 p.m. Pacific. That is 11 p.m. Central European Time. That is it, ladies and gentlemen, for us. I am D-Man, Freak, Kobe here alongside me, and the entire awesome live broadcasting crew here in North America. Thank you very much for watching, and good night. But he's going to get taken down. Skara comes in. It's a double kill and an ace for Dignitas. The double kill for him. Laudamonis goes in. That's going to feed him a triple kill. MIA turn. That's going to be a quadra kill. Can he get the pentakill? Front you 1-on-1. It's going to be the pentakill.
Shoved in mid.
I think he knows I'm here.
And it's going to be Dignitas picking up a convincing victory.
They're too overextended, too low. Get up, get up.